The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, did not introduce a massive list of characters. However, that didn't stop the show from killing off half of them. And today, we're going to rank all the deaths in The Ones Who Live. Season 1 and only season. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Let's not waste any time doing this. So there was 19 characters in total. That's what we counted in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. In terms of characters that actually spoke, characters that got lines, there was 19. So a very small roster, so to speak, if you want to call it a roster or a cast or whatever. Not a big list here. I think that's something that has really hurt these spin-offs. All 3 spin-offs just haven't really had that much exciting characters. Outside of the main characters, there's maybe like 1, 2 or 3 that are okay. Other than that, though, it's a lot of throwaway characters. A lot of bums, really, that nobody cares about. You know, just a lot of background characters that are just there to essentially make up the numbers and die. I mean, that is pretty much it. So we're going to get into this list. It's going to be a list of 7 because some of the characters we are grouping together. If these characters died within a short space of like each other and they pretty much had the same death or the same outcome of death or the same cause of death, then we're just going to put them in the same list because I'm not going to rank out 3 different people if they all died in the same scene. So with that said, let's move in to number 7. Last on the list, we're going to go with Red, Dalton, and I believe her name was Tina. So yeah, this was like a trio of siblings, 2 brothers, 1 sister. Rick and Michonne gave them noodles. They didn't really accept the noodles gracefully. They tried to steal. They end up teaming up with Jadis, and it turns out to be their downfall. They get bit. They get taken out by zombies. I mean, it wasn't a great death. It's last on the list. Coming at number 9, we have Bailey and Aiden. They both died with some form of chemical gas. When that gas exploded, they died after being locked up in the hospital. I believe Aiden was pregnant and she was going to give birth, but unfortunately passed away, turned into a walker. But yeah, her and Bailey pretty much just dying to the same thing. That's coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have got Jadis' death. Again, just another zombie bite. Jadis gets first bit in the neck, I believe, by Tina, and then it's Rick that puts her down. I didn't like Jadis' death. I felt like it was very phony. We see Rick and Michonne pretty much for the last few episodes wanting to kill Jadis, but by the time they actually do kill her, it's almost like they had remorse, or they did it with regret, and they felt bad about taking out Jadis, even though she's a woman that's technically took years away from Rick, took Rick away from his family, but for some reason they were almost emotional when killing Jadis. I thought it was very forced. Didn't like it. Coming at number 5. Coming at number 4, we have Thorne. I feel bad for Thorne. We don't actually get to see her death. I mean, she is presumed dead, and I think she is dead because Rick takes her gas mask after like the gas explosion. Plus, she has been left behind where there's like, I don't know, hundreds of walkers. So yeah, I mean, Thorne will die. I do think Rick almost betrayed her. I mean, Rick and her are supposed to be close. Rick and her are supposed to be like family, but Michonne turns up and then everything just goes out the fucking window. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, just the lack of loyalty that Rick had. Because, I mean, you can argue, yeah, Beale's a bad person and all this, but, I mean, Thorne wasn't a bad person. Okafor certainly wasn't a bad person, yet Rick didn't care about Okafor's death, and he actually went out of his way to make sure that Thorne didn't survive. So I think when you factor all that in, I don't know, I just wasn't a big fan of it. Coming in at number 3 now, we have the podium positions. We're going to go with Nate in 3rd place. He gets taken out by one of the CRM soldiers after bringing down a helicopter. Nate was a fun wee character. We only got him for like an episode, maybe about, what, 3/4 of an episode. But for what we did get, it was decent. I liked Nate. His death, it was a bit shocking as well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect him to be like a long-term survivor, but I also didn't expect him to just die when he did. Him and Okafor, to be honest, had 2 very surprising deaths, so I'll give them that. Coming at number 2, we have Major General Beale. Probably one of the only few actual physical fight scenes here that resulted in somebody dying. We've seen Beale and Rick going toe-to-toe. Rick manages to get the knife away from Beale, stabs him through the hand, and he says, "We are the ones who live, and you don't." And then he stabs Beale through the chest, really, through the heart. So I thought it was a good death there. Rick and Beale going at it one-on-one. It's a shame they couldn't do more with the character. I mean, they don't really show Beale for the first 5 episodes, and then when they do show him in the finale, they kill him off at like the halfway point. Definitely a waste. I think there was so much more to do with Beale, but the death was pretty good. And then coming in at number 1, we have Okivar. I remember watching this, really enjoyed this character. For me, best character we've seen introduced to The Walking Dead in a long, long time. And then before you know it, he gets like some sort of explosive round shot through the cockpit of the helicopter. It impales him in the stomach, and then he just explodes into a million pieces. And you're like, holy fucking shit. And it was a good death. It was a shocking death, but it was a disappointing death as well, because, like I said, we got a good character for once in The Walking Dead, and they decided to kill him. So, I mean, yeah, overall, a little bit bummed that Okivar died, and he died that early, but I still think he was a good character. And yeah, definitely one of the best characters I think we've seen in The Walking Dead for years and years and years. So I was disappointed that he was killed, but I think his death was really good, and it was very unexpected. And when he died, it was like, right, holy shit, anything can happen here, because I just assumed that he was going to be, you know, one of the main characters. I thought he was going to be a major protagonist, similar to Rick, but that didn't happen. I think the show would have been better if Rick and Okivar were the 2 main characters, but I mean, it is what it is. We'll move on, guys. That is our list here. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, though, peace.